Welcome to Elementary by Ticker Tape. This is Ujjwal, and in this episode, we'll talk about dividends. Sharma uncle has been thinking of buying a home for a while. He's been putting some money aside for many years, and now he has enough to buy a small 2-bedroom flat in a posh locality in Mumbai. 1.5 crore rupees was not easy to accumulate. He has managed 1 crore and will take a loan of 50 lakhs. He currently lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in the suburbs with Sharma auntie and his kids Rinku and Bablu, where he pays 20,000 as monthly rent. Everyone is very happy to move to the new house, but Sharma uncle looks worried and confused. His bank told him that a 30-year loan for 50 lakhs will mean an EMI of 44,000 to be paid every month. He asked around with real estate brokers and they mentioned that he might be able to get about 50,000 every month if he rented the house to someone else. That will cover the EMI, but what about his family? Should he even go home tonight? Sharma uncle has to decide whether to move into the new house or rent it out. If he moves in, he saves on the 20,000 rent that he is currently paying, but will still have to pay the 44,000 EMI. So overall, his cash outflow increases by 24,000 every month, which is a kind of investment in improving his quality of life and future happiness. If he rents the property out, he receives 50,000 as rent and pays 44,000 as EMI from that. His overall cash position becomes 6,000 as inflow every month. But his family doesn't get to enjoy the new house. He might use this additional 6,000, add 20,000 that he's already paying as rent currently, and then add 24,000 that he was paying extra in the first option, for a total budget of 50,000 to look for another house to rent. If he's able to find a new house to rent which costs less than 50,000, the second option is better financially. But obviously, there's also a sentiment angle to it and also the joy derived from living in one's own house. So, he has to decide between using his asset for his own consumption or derive a rental yield out of it. But what is this rental yield thing? Let's call it dividend. Companies generate profit through their business activities. At least they're supposed to. As a shareholder, you have a right to a certain portion of the generated profits. Dividends are cash disbursements to the shareholders to return a portion of the generated profit back to you. They are announced as rupees X per share and are credited to your bank account. Let's take a scenario that a company made 100 crores of net profit in a financial year. This amount is basically the property of the shareholders in the ratio of the holdings. Now, there are two things that the company can do with this. First, the company keeps the entire amount for its own consumption, maybe to invest in a new project or to increase cash reserves for an acquisition or expand the business. This is called retained earnings. Second, return the money back to the shareholders who anyway are the owners of this amount. In most scenarios, the company decides to pay a fraction of this earnings as dividends to the shareholders so that they can benefit directly from the company's profit making. The next question is, when should a company pay dividends? There are multiple reasons why companies pay dividends. If the company thinks that there are not enough good opportunities to invest this amount, it means that the company doesn't think that it can generate sufficient return on this money itself by investing in new projects, and believes that the shareholders might be able to get a better return on an individual level by investing it elsewhere. This depends a lot on the size of the company and the sector in which the company operates in. For a young growing company, the cash requirements may be huge, and also the cash will generate better returns by investing in expansion. For a large mature company where the growth rate has slowed down, maybe it's better to return the money to the shareholders. If company already has huge cash reserves, any additional profit that they generate, a good portion of it might be returned to shareholders. Investors find dividend-paying companies as an attractive investment. For mature companies, a steadily increasing dividends is an indication that the company is doing better over the years from a profitability perspective. But sometimes there's a FOMO factor, fear of missing out. Sometimes this might even lead to companies paying out dividends even when net profit hasn't been great for the year. If its competitors pay dividends, they might continue to do so. If not handled well, this might even be detrimental to the health of the company. Sometimes companies pay dividends even if they made a loss in that year. India's company law allows paying dividends only from accumulated profits. So these companies use accumulated profits of previous years to pay dividends in a loss-making year. In our initial example with Sharma uncle, he has to decide whether he'll derive more happiness and utility from moving to the new house, this is retained earnings, which is the supposed rent of the flat, or to rent it out and receive rent, which is similar to dividends, and invest it somewhere else, maybe a new house on rent for himself. So how is dividend paid? Dividends are generally paid as cash disbursement directly to the shareholder's bank account. There are three types of dividends. Interim dividend. It's a middle of the year dividend paid between two annual general meetings of the shareholders. Think of it as a top up. The company realized before the year ended that they will be in a good condition from a profits perspective, and they rewarded shareholders even before the year got over. Final dividend. These are announced at the end of the year after all accounts are collated. This is in addition to any interim dividend paid. Special dividend. If the company did exceptionally well due to an event, for example, gains due to mergers and acquisitions or decreased tax rates. Alright, now that you have your dividends in your bank account, how do you calculate how your invested stock is performing? For that, we'll discuss a topic called total return. We all know what price return is. At the beginning of a year, if my stock price was 100, and at the end of the year, if it goes up to 114, my price return on the stock was 14%. If I sell the stock now, I'll get 114 and I'll make 14 rupees as profit or return. Sweet. But as a holder of the stock during the year, I also received an interim dividend of 3 rupees and a final dividend of 5 rupees for a total of 8 rupees as dividend during the year. 8 divided by 100 is 8%, which is something called the dividend return of the stock during the year. The total return is sum of price return and dividend return. Expressed as a formula, it's sum of price appreciation during the year, P1 minus P0, and the cash dividend paid during the entire year, D, divided by the price at the beginning of the year, which is P0, expressed as a percentage. So, always evaluate total returns when you want to invest for longer periods. Now let's move on to the screener and look at a few numbers. I've added a few filters on net income, dividend per share that was paid out during the year, 1 year earnings growth, and the dividend yield. Dividend yield is slightly different than the realized dividend return. Remember how dividend return was calculated with respect to start of period prices? Dividend yield is an indicator which is used to show the level of dividends paid with regards to the current price. It estimates dividend return if you were to invest now and if the same amount of dividend is paid in the next year. To compare the dividend yield of stocks to its peers, we'll add the dividend yield versus sector filter. Restricting the sector to IT services and consulting, we see how TCS has 1.77% higher dividend yield than the sector average. We can even see what proportion of net income was paid as dividends using a filter called the payout ratio. But let's create the formula ourselves using a custom filter. Dividend per share multiplied by total common shares outstanding divided by the net income. This is called the payout ratio. It can also be calculated as dividends per share divided by earnings per share. To know more about earnings per share, please watch video number 1 in the elementary series by clicking this card here or the link in the description. To see the dividends for any stock, just click on any stock name and click on the details icon in the stock widget. You can also search for the stock in the search bar. Go to Events tab and you'll see all the past dividend details of the stock here. You can also see the corporate actions on the stock by going to the Corp Actions tab. We did a video on a few of these event types. Click the card here to see more details about stock splits, bonus, and rights issue, or follow the link in the description. So that covers our session on dividends. Hope you enjoyed it. And we hope that Sharma uncle did as well. I'm guessing Sharma auntie did not enjoy it. They probably will not move into the new house. Sorry, Sharma auntie. Please subscribe to our channel for more such simple explainers. And keep it simple.